Hey, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is HD StarCraft, and what is going on? I am so excited today because I can bring you guys one of the replays that was released featuring the best Brood War player of all time currently. It is Flash. And I heard about this replay being released about 6 hours ago, and I was unfortunately at an autocross event. I was racing, and I had to race my ass home to try to cast this game. It is a little bit late, I think, as the replay came out about 20 hours ago already, and I'm sure some other casters have already done this because this is huge news in the community, but I'm just gonna say right now, there is no way in hell I am missing out on a cast, potentially, of Flash playing StarCraft 2. So damn excited right now. It is going to be a Terran versus Terran. His opponent is going to be Kawhi-Rice, and Kawhi-Rice here playing under this Chinese or Korean alias. I believe that's Chinese. And Kawhi-Rice has been playing on the Asian servers for a very, very long time. This is how he kind of gets his practice and has become such a good Terran player. So funnily enough, he ends up running into Flash, the best StarCraft 2, or excuse me, the best StarCraft Brood War player ever. Right now, he is the Bonjwa of Brood War. And before him, really, the only other Bonjwa was Savior. Jaedong kind of having those glimpses, but could never really be called the true Bonjwa. That's Flash. Right now, Flash, undisputed best StarCraft Brood War player in the world. If you guys have never seen a game of Flash before, he is the best Terran in the world, and I'm so happy that he's playing Terran in StarCraft 2. Now, I was gonna make kind of a separate announcement video regarding Flash because over the last couple of weeks, there's been huge news all over the StarCraft 2 community. Flash apparently has been playing StarCraft 2, obviously here before your eyes, he is playing right now, but he's been playing StarCraft 2 ladder, kind of behind the scenes, has been kind of secretive, and he's been doing very, very well, obviously. The skills that translate over from Brood War very much can affect your game in StarCraft 2 in positive ways. Now, Flash has said himself, you know, he wants to get to the top of the top, and he would like to be able to do it in 3 months. Realistically, he thinks it's going to take a year. But I have to say this, okay? Some of the best StarCraft Brood War players switched over to StarCraft 2, and they have had very successful careers. Jelizerg, for example, huge success as a player. Zergbong, never really known as a good player, but then became Nesty in StarCraft 2 and has been ripping it up. Now, if you think about it, if a player of Flash's caliber, by the way, guys, Flash is the blue Terran at the top right. I don't know if I guess I should mention that since it's a mirror matchup. Flash is the blue Terran, and Kawhi-Rice is the red Terran in the bottom left. As I was saying, if you get a player of the caliber of Flash or Jaedong, and I'm sure now that Flash has kind of decided to make the switch over, I'm sure Jaedong will follow in his footsteps, and more players will continue on that route. It's gonna be a hell of a ride as the best Brood War players switch over to StarCraft 2. I'm so excited, and let's see what happens here. Kawhi-Rice sending in an SCV, has a Reaper to follow up as well. Just gonna try to make his way into the base, but there are 3 Marines already, so this is gonna be demoted down to purely scouting purposes, and maybe just getting 1 SCV kill on the barracks as well. Not too shabby. Another SCV dropping as it was building the supply depot, it seems like. And this Reaper has already picked up 2 kills, gets out of there without dying, but can't say the same for his SCV buddy. You know what? Every advantage that Kawhi-Rice can get here, I think he's going to need, because he's playing against a player whose playstyle is not determined. You know, it's not a guy who will play by the cookie cutter style, and I say that because I'm assuming that Flash is going to have a little bit of a Brood War tendency here, and we'll see what happens here. A couple more Reapers coming in. Oh well, they have no health, but they're able to both deny the refineries once again. So another nice pickup for Kawhi-Rice. One thing to note as well is this isn't confirmed truth that this is Flash. The only reason why people think this is Flash is because the handle that Flash is playing on right here was actually revealed when he was live streaming, and so Kawhi-Rice obviously thought that this was Flash after that huge live stream event, and a lot of people in the community seem to think so as well. I'm going to err on the side of the community here, but I'm also going to just bring up the doubt and the possibility of it not being Flash, just so you guys, you know, all the possible facts. But for all it stands here, I'm excited, and I think it's Flash. This is Flash versus Kawaii Rice, and it is Flash playing StarCraft 2. Wow, I'm so excited right now. You guys have no idea. And when Jaedong makes the switch over, oh god, I'm going to have things that I cannot describe here on YouTube because I might get censored and banned. So that's about it. And we shall see what happens here. Now let's see, Flash going for a factory following the 3 barracks. Remember, his gas was delayed just a little bit here, and we'll see if Kawaii Rice has been able to take advantage of that, as he's gotten 2 gases, and he is going to have the +1 weapons, and it seems like the stim pack upgrade coming up way sooner than Flash. In fact, Flash has not even committed to getting a tech lab. No, there it goes. There's the tech lab now beginning to finish on the barracks, just now finishing up, and stim pack giving, you know, it's a long ways away from Kawaii Rice's upgrade. But I think Flash is going to have a slight advantage in SCVs here, and as you guys can see on that tab, just a little bit, because you know, while he lost some workers, he didn't have to spend that much mining gas, as his refineries were delayed, and all that kind of adds up to having a little bit more minerals. Here comes a Marine Force from Kawaii Rice, though. And in fact, moving out to try to time this up with his stim pack, which just finished up. And he certainly has the possibility to do damage. Also, +1 weapons is finishing right now. Certainly can do a lot of work here, but of course, Flash is playing quite conservatively. He's got a bunker at the front door. I don't think this is going to be broken down by just pure stim Marines, but the thing here is I do see medevacs coming pretty soon in the future for Flash, as he's got that starport coming and the reactor no doubt building on the factory. And here we go, this Marine Force on the low ground. Speaking of medevacs, the medevacs initially coming out here for Flash, so he's going to have the mobility advantage just slightly, and might opt to push out a little bit right here, right now, as he looks to maybe secure the 3rd. And, you know, I was saying maybe Flash is going to bring a little bit more of the Brood War-esque style of TVT, as we saw a lot of famous StarCraft Brood War players like Jelizer bringing certain styles into his matchups. But I haven't seen the mass tank style yet from Flash, so maybe, you know, all that month of practice that Flash has been playing so far behind the scenes really is showing off here. You know, he immediately learns the meta game. He catches up really quickly. It seems like he hasn't really missed a beat, even though he's missed the last year and a half of StarCraft 2. Seems like everything is on point here. He's not trying some kind of crazy tank build. And, you know, like 4GG, remember when 4GG started playing? He was just going all out Brood War style. But Flash certainly not missing a beat here, and the one thing that makes Flash such an incredible player in StarCraft was his mechanics. So mechanically, fundamentally sound. And back then, you did not have multiple building select, so with multiple building select now, all that extra APM, let's see what Flash puts it into. It looks like he's got the choke advantage here, along with the tank. Gotta be a little bit careful. He's also got the medevacs, more medevacs in fact, and he's playing a little bit of cat and mouse right now on the ramp. Seems like he's been getting more cost effective with these attacks, and with the extra medevac coverage, I think Flash should be able to clear this out quite easily. In fact, we'll be able to give chase, and picks off a medevac in retreat. He might get a second one, no. And a great play by Flash to start off the game here. You know, it's a mirror matchup. Any advantages you get really, really count. It's more difficult, I think, to come back in certain mirror matchups. TVT does have a lot of dynamics to it. But right now, Flash has a significant army supply lead. He's also got the worker lead just slightly, and right now he's going to make an attack with his army. Now, he doesn't have siege mode. It doesn't look like quite yet. In fact, he's going to be able to blow through the enemy siege tank. No, scratch that. Flash already does have siege, and he's just pushing right on in here. Tons of comsats going down to try to catch anything that they can, and it looks like Flash has to pull back. And Kawaii Rice comes out with just enough Marines here to kill off the enemy forces. Very well done right there by Kawaii Rice, as he's going to give pursuit here to the tailing tanks. And all of a sudden, I guess, Flash is finding himself just a tad overextended with his army. But you know what? One thing, he's kept his medevacs alive in force. Hasn't lost a single one, I don't think. And when medevac energy really starts to build up like this, it just becomes so hard. Not only that, but you can also drop while not really cutting too heavily into your medevac fleet. You can kind of send off two off on the side because you've got so much already. So Flash right here still in a very dominant position despite losing some of his army at the front door. You know, he's still got map control, and here we go. It looks like he is loading up for a big time drop. There is a Marine coming down here though. It looks like the Marine will scout the situation, and now Kawhi-Rice has got to decide what to do. It looks like he's going to send all of his forces back home as he pre-evacuates the SCVs out of harm's way. And as a result, maybe just going to lose a refinery or two here. Depends whether or not Flash wants to hold the position. He's got the siege tanks ready to go. Also beginning to continuing to fortify the middle of the map here. And now here comes Kawhi-Rice sending in a bunch of SCVs into the gauntlet, into the meat grinder. Has to do so though to clear the path for his Marines. And it looks like he's going to be able to blow through that drop. And meanwhile, oh, Flash comes in here at the front. Beautiful attack. You know, while the drop is going off at the main, he knows the entire army is distracted, and he sends this little contingency through the natural and does a great amount of damage. And he continues to reinforce from all of his buildings all the way into the middle of the map. So that is really a staple Brood War-esque thing right there, where people can, you know, they all set their rally points in the middle of the map. They had their armies kind of coming in. You see that in StarCraft 2, of course, a lot as well, but Flash did this a lot in Terran versus Terran in StarCraft Brood War, as positional warfare is so important. And it looks like that siege tank on the low ground is going to get obliterated, but he's got so many Marines streaming in here. I don't think that Kawhi-Rice can hang on. He does have a siege tank on the high ground, but with the medevac fleet spotting it, it could go down. No, he doesn't have enough Marines. And it looks like for now, Flash will have to pull back once again, but like as I reiterate, his medevac fleet is so daunting. Look, it's just been reinforced by 2 more. He's got a total of, let's see, that is 11 medevacs, my goodness. And now claiming the 3rd command center as well. So really strong fundamentals here from Flash from Brood War, certainly showing themselves here in StarCraft 2. He's got his upgrades kicking in as well at 1-1, but he's about to, well, he's just started 2 weapons. Meanwhile, Kawhi-Rice actually at 2-2, so Kawhi-Rice has been doing a good job of out-upgrading his opponent, and that's one reason why he hasn't lost this game yet. In fact, now going to claim the 3rd, and if Kawhi-Rice can just settle down, get the 3rd mining, you know, and continue to stay on top of his upgrades, I don't see any reason why Kawhi-Rice should be considered eliminated from this game. Having said that though, it's very hard to stay on top of upgrades getting up to 3-3 if you're already at 2-2, because you need a lot of gas to do that. You need the armory, and it looks like he's already got it. Yeah, so it's still very gas intensive, so he needs the 5th and 6th refineries if he's going to be able to maintain that upgrade advantage, because we can see Flash beginning to catch up here, and still has predominant map control here on Cloud Kingdom. No doubt having siege tanks here on these what would this be called, like mounds, I guess, kind of a reminder of TVT on Heartbreak Ridge. I think Heartbreak Ridge was a map that had a lot of ledges like this in the middle of the map. A lot of maps in Brood War really featuring a lot of high ground, low ground mechanics, but for whatever reason, Heartbreak Ridge kind of the one that comes to mind here. And you know what? Tanks on high ground, man, very difficult to deal with. That is alleviated a little bit, I think, in StarCraft 2 by the sheer momentum of Terran versus Terran having to, you know, go right into medevacs. Medevacs are so key in TVT here. Back in Brood War, they were used primarily for mobilization, but in StarCraft 2 they're used for healing and for mobilization. So tanks maybe not as strong. Of course, they were nerfed as well from Brood War, and Flash, I'm sure, knows all about this. But you know what? He's still looking very good. He's claiming the 4th right now, and just kind of has his forces patrolling right now, just kind of exercising, working out their legs and wheels in the middle of the map, waiting for Kawhi-Rice to move out. 3-3 is on the way here for Kawhi-Rice, so he will maintain that upgrade advantage ever so slightly. Although the gap right now is pretty much closed off as 2 armor is finishing up for Flash. And Flash just kind of dropping the comsats here, checking the terrain out, seeing if there's anything that is unseen. Has +1 armor about to finish, and we're gonna have 2 massive armies colliding here. Now, siege tanks are absolutely important here to get them set up. Do not get caught with your siege tanks out of position. Having air units to spot for the tanks as well is vital because it gives the tanks extra range. And of course, Flash has so many medevacs here. He's certainly going to win out in that regard. Flash now pulling back. Actually, Flash getting sandwiched between two contingencies, but the left one very, very small. And it looks like Kawaii Rice has to load up some of his Marines. He just cannot fight against this many Marines. And really, Flash just pumping out so many forces. Really kind of an ode, a tribute, really, to his Brood War mechanics. And now it looks like Kawaii Rice going with an attack over to the 3rd orbital. It has been able to do a little bit of damage, going to kill off a refinery, but a small army of Marines being sent back to dispatch of that. And now Kawaii Rice kind of finding himself into an all-in situation. He's got to end at least the life of this orbital command, but he is going to find himself absolutely crushed by the army of Flash. And GG God, says Kawaii Rice. So that was a pretty one-sided matchup. But nevertheless, guys, I heard this on, my friends actually called me and said, Alex, you have to go and cast Flash because a replay of him has just been released, supposedly. So, you know, I raced home for my autocross event. I know it's a few hours late, but nevertheless, I'm proud to have been able to witness this moment in history with you guys, with Flash taking a victory against Kawaii Rice, a player who's been practicing StarCraft 2 forever, since the days of beta, has been playing on the Asian servers. That's why he met Flash here, and Flash just totally, utterly, absolutely, bone-crushingly dismantles him. From head to toe, there was never even a challenge. And some may say maybe Kawaii Rice a little bit starstruck. That can certainly happen. But from where I stand here, it certainly looks like Flash just completely mopped the floor with him. And one shudders to imagine how Flash's how his skill will continue to improve as he gets more practice. Remember, guys, he's only got a month of practice under his belt right now. If he can get his supposed, he said 3 months, he thinks he can maybe, you know, start to compete a little bit better. But after a year, as he said, he knows for sure after a year he will be able to compete with the best of the best. One shudders to think, after 12 months of practice, that's 11 more, how good Flash can be. And, you know, as I've been doing in all my videos, I've been kind of just dissecting some of the major battles in the game. But before the battle even really took place, remember, I'm going to just pause the game real quick right here. This is moments before the first battle took place. Remember, Flash took some worker kills. He actually lost 4 SCVs because of the Reaper opening. But he still was ahead in workers. And if you look at the units tab here, way ahead in the medevacs, tanks, maybe not quite ahead in Marines, but that's okay because he's got the medevacs, he's got the tanks. So the mechanics of Flash here, really the shining beacon of how he was able to dominate Kawaii Rice, I think. Of course, the battle was good as well. He engaged in a great position on the high ground. Can't get any better than that. But if this game's a sample of anything that we're going to taste of Flash in the future, I think that's how Flash is going to take his victories, is mechanics. Superior mechanics, able to macro his face off. That's how he beat players in Brood War, and that's how he's going to defeat players in StarCraft 2. I cannot wait to see the day when he competes at the top echelon of StarCraft 2 tournaments, and maybe when his rival Jaedong also joins the scene as well. I'm going to be giddy as a schoolgirl. Like I said, I'm going to be doing things that are unspeakable on YouTube. But I hope you guys enjoyed this cast as much as I did. It was a pleasure to bring you guys Flash. Maybe he's kind of having a little bit of an eye twitch right now as he's realized how talented he is in StarCraft 2. Anyways, guys, I'm going on for way too long. Diablo 3 coming out in a couple of days. I'm going to make a couple of videos about that. And stay tuned, guys. I'll see you guys around. HD signing out.